Alright, my mic's on. Do you want to share your funny shirt story right now? Is this like this?
Wait, it's Genesis related.
All right, go for it. Go for it.
Well, have we gotten?
All right. Hi, everybody. Hey, champions. Episode 70th. That's yeah. It's a thing. That's like year and a half of content of like weekly content. Yes, we do have new animation. I just want to change up the animation every now and then. So now we have the tsunami as the intro thing, which we used a lot during the Kickstarter campaign. And I was like, yeah, let's start using it again. So yes, it is an upgrade. All right, and then sound is good. Unsynced on Facebook. Interesting. I don't know if there's any way for me to sync that up.
Sounds like a Facebook issue.
Yeah, refresh Facebook. That might help. But we are going to start things off with a funny shirt story that Alex is going to share with us.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm ready.
So, Easter, I had Gabriel had some family over. Gabriel was sitting on my lap. I was wearing my Genesis Championship shirt, the one with the kabut. He's been sitting on me for several hours. Finally turns around and says, "Daddy, why do you wear this creepy shirt?"
yeah.
PP shirt, yeah.
And I go, "What's creepy about it?" And so he stops. Puts his finger up to his chin and says, "It's got strings."
I like it.
I'm like, "Are strings creepy?" And so he thinks for a few seconds. He says, "But have you looked at its nose?"
I don't think I've ever looked at a cabin's nose. Is this something? Are we doing this now?
Yeah, I gotta find a compass now.
And that's as far as the conversation went, but he ran off from there. But
Gus, libraries.
Yeah, right. All of us pulling out.
Bus.
So now you know, like you made clearly creepy artwork because it's got strings and a nose.
It does have a little bit of a creepy nose. I get that.
Kind of smushed in, really. Like if you're looking at it, like you got your eye gaps. Are we calling those eye gaps? Have the correct sockets, eye sockets.
But now we got the point of view from a 4-year-old of what is creepy about a cabin. He's got strings and a nose.
All right, good to know.
Nothing about it coming. Oh, I guess actually, Rain's not actually on the T-shirt, is she?
She is.
Or they?
She is. Yeah.
Oh, nothing about the cabin's coming out of Rain's brain.
No,
it's creepy at all. No, just the strings and the nose.
Oh, so no streamers on his birthday, right? Like, it's just... All right. So we've got a few topics we want to talk about. There are organized play stuff that we want to discuss. We want to talk about the meta a little bit. We are going to talk about. I actually want to touch on the MTG price increase topic because I think it is something good to talk about from like the first thing that went through my head when I heard about it. So there's a lot of cool, interesting things behind that. And then if there's time, Alex wants to show something, but we'll see if we get time to test that out.
Maybe his creepy shirt.
Before we jump into that, let's do highlights of the week. Any gameplay moments that you want to highlight, talk about that were particularly interesting? Who wants to start?
I'll start.
All right.
I didn't get many games in throughout the weekend because of Easter, Friday and Sunday. The store was closed, but I did manage to get one game in again. Game in today.
Yeah.
Against Sid. I don't know if we determined that Wasim added the Con Control deck on there. I didn't think that deck was very openly known. Did you add that to the meta list at one point, Will?
We threw it on there, yep. At the end of after Kun won the championship, I threw it on there sort of on the bottom tier list, kind of as a offshoot, something different, because actually what happened was some people are asking for J2 stuff, like J2 only builds. And I was like, well, you can't really build either of these gun decks. And I just never took them off. I just sort of left them there, but
well, you can't make the Con Control deck with pure J2 either.
You can't,
because the cog restrictions, But so
did you play it?
Yeah. So I was playing against Sid. He was playing his core defensive deck. It was a very good game.
Yeah.
A lot of back and forth. The main thing from the control deck, which is odd. Well, we thought late in the game, but in the beginning of the game, I think there's like somewhere between 10 to 20 LM.
Yeah.
I didn't see them in the beginning of the game, but at the end, towards the end of the game, when I drew one, I drew them all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It got really intense.
So I've been running Kuhn LMs now, like pretty exclusively, because like I don't know, like I think LM is just a very, very powerful card that is just sort of sitting below everyone's eye line, right? Everyone's looking at the bolt shots, the tsunamis, the meteorites, and then you have this consistent card that gives you two things. It replaces itself in your hand, and it gives you extra turns, right?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be turn advantage and hand card advantage. And I mean, if I'm in blue now, I start at least 8 to 10 LMs. That's where my build starts. So I've been running sort of an offshoot of Sid Williams' championship deck.
Yeah,
right?
not mine.
throwing in the LMs. So I had to tweak some of the substrikes, and like one bolt shot, 2 substrikes, fit some more LMs in, and I threw some thrusts in just to kind of balance out the damage. And it's running very, very well. However, on Saturday I was playing that deck. Learned the hard way that Schleyer and Miss is just not that good.
Oh yeah.
It does occupy the space. It doesn't stop things with aerial and flight from moving. So so when you're dealing with angels or desk companions like we do a lot in Heads or Tails, it's really it didn't feel great. Most of the time I was like, oh, I wish it said you cannot move into this spot. That would be great. But other than that, the Kun deck worked really well. We had a Kun versus Kun matchup, which was very quickly just became, dash slap, dash slap, and sort of for a little bit there, because we sort of my opponent was playing some summons, so I had to use my techniques to take care of his big summons, which meant that I had to like rebuild my hand, and then he had to rebuild his hand. So for a few rounds there, it was just sort of like, well, I have nothing to play, so I'll just dash slap.
It sounds like a game people play around the schoolyard. Dash slap.
How's my internet doing? Am I back to normal?
You disappeared and then came back there.
Need to maybe focus your camera a little bit.
Yeah, it's not really feeling it right now.
Hey,
there it is.
That looked better.
Oh, I can see you. Oh.
I haven't played Kun since Ray's first came out. Like when he started becoming a lot more meta relevant. That's usually when I'm like, I want to observe more than play with it. So I've been just watching a lot of people play with it. I've been playing against it quite a bit. Is a lot more powerful than I expected it to be when we came to the 2019 championship and showed off all the champions. It was like, okay, yeah, Kun's broken, but bringing its attack down to action, it'll be fine. It'll be balanced. And it was like, you know what? Comparatively, it is relatively balanced, but he's still just a super powerful champion.
Oh, for sure. If he still had the Swift ability that he had back in Future League, it was... that was ridiculous. But... it's basically 2 moves and play in action, right? Like, with the flight part is what really, I think, brings it home, is because the one thing that you could do, or that Kun falls apart with, it would be getting surrounded. But because he can fly over top of it, he never really gets surrounded for long. It's just a matter of, does he have some type of evasion or something, right? So that's why I brought the Galarian Mist, was for any sort of ground units. Yeah. My goal was dash, get in, hit with a wind slash and a thrust, right? And then on the end step, play Galarian Mist so nothing can surround me. Yeah. it just didn't work out that I faced anything with ground units. It was all
Yeah.
dragons, angels, and death companions. And I was like, well, serves me right for trying out this card.
Yeah, I'm finding that too. I've been trying Jellian Mist quite a bit, and every time it's just like, this is just inferior. It's just not the move I need. And I'm waiting. Will the payout come out at some point? Will there eventually come a game where I play the Jellian Mist and I win?
For sure. I think there's definitely positions where you could play Jellian Mist and it does get you that 1 to 2 turns you need just to finish off your opponent. But people like their flyers. They like their big aerial units, right?
Sounds like we need a new Jellian Mist improved.
Yeah, cannot move into these spots.
Yeah.
And Zone Protector will just come in and place it. It won't even matter.
So you were talking about Alim going under the radar. Actually, the thing that brought Alim to my attention originally was when Steve-O played it in the 2019 championship.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, I was like, I knew this card was good, but it just saw so much more power during those matchups. And it was so subtle. But it was like when you start taking a step back, realizing you're like, yeah, this is how fighters gain their advantage. Actually, that's the main reason Core does as well as he does, is because of Mobius. If it wasn't for Cult to the Bones of Mobius, like, Core would definitely be held back in a lot of ways.
So before we had gotten started on Saturday, I was playing my commons only core that I have. It was just common decks, so it's basically hit them with hit their hand with pale foxes or diabolical roars when you get up close, and then drop a behemoth right beside them and try to see how they fare with that. But in that one, because I'm running commons only, I actually run the Silver Recluse Spider as a 4 aura Mobius target, right? So 4 aura, and I draw a card. It's basically like a discard, draw a new card, right? But this just hits the board, and I end my turn by taking the card off because I'm commons only, or else I would run the Call of Bones.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's only 4 aura for a 1/1, and if I just use it as strict as a filtering sort of mechanism, it's actually not that. It's kind of cool.
I'm playing around.
People would play. People would play the. They'll pay 1 life, draw a card. What's the difference?
Yeah.
1 life, 4 aura. It's different cost.
Yeah,
it's a different cost, different. Yeah.
I'm playing around with trying to get the actual card image to show up on screen as well. So if you see me distracted looking over here, that's what's happening. So the gameplay I want to talk about, I've been really loving this core control evasive deck, and I was like, okay, what are lessons learned here that I can carry over to other champions? So I decided to brew together a Fong deck, and it did not go well. I couldn't get the same staying power. She can't keep the same tempo. And then at the end of the day, you just can't output the same amount of damage. It was very difficult. So yeah, that was a complete flop. I still struggle very much to find a solid Fong deck that could be meta relevant. So that's, I think it's something I'm gonna still brew over, but
I feel like Fong is the farthest thing away from core control.
Yeah, she really is. I think the next control deck that I'm really looking at is Vishud, somewhere in Vishud. Because you got Oten, which is very powerful. Underworld Knowledge, because if you're playing slow, then it can help you that way. But the thing that you lose out on is Cogstrix, but you get Meteorites. Which I know Core has access to Meteorites, but they're still a very solid control option.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I'm still figuring things out. We'll see. Maybe that'll be a Shun deck. Well, and I talked about this before.
Yeah. Shun is in a very interesting space. I know, Alex doesn't leave me on anything, but Alex has to find out that I'm right in his own time. I can't tell him that I'm right because he just says no.
All right, what are you right about, Will? Tell me.
So there is a very interesting space that the new Fisher champion will actually allow because of the 2 energy.
Yeah.
And because it has access to the red movements that are coming and also are out right now, you
Okay.
can run a very easy game plan, which is I'm going to move and evade everything that comes at me, and I'm always going to drain.
Yeah.
Right. And so you use the movements in order to position yourself in the right spot so that next turn you can go in and drain. And it's just that. The only thing is I like to run a distraction piece, so either like a desk companion or a behemoth or something along those lines, something big enough and scary enough that you have to have something to distract it.
Sure.
And there's a new one. I think there's a new one that sort of fits that mold very well in Origins. And yeah, it's a really fun deck. You're just darting around, moving around, evading, and then you drain for 2.
I don't have a direct disagreement with you.
See, he won't say I'm right, but he don't disagree.
I don't
This is
say anybody's
how
right.
all of our
Like,
conversations are.
proven that.
Oh, I won't say you're wrong, but I won't say you're right. I will think on this.
Yeah, I know he's the
Okay,
worst.
Alex, you go think. You go think.
All right, so let's switch over to some of the topics we have lined out. The first one we have is how much Geo hates Will. So Will, share your story. I want to,
Yeah, so
we'll go from there.
I mean, so we've had a great turnout the last couple times, and there's some caveats to this too, right? Thursday nights have been really difficult to get out sometimes recently, and also just busyness with family and everything. So Saturdays is sort of the day that I can get out to play at Heads or Tails. And so, yeah, and so right now we've got a lot of things going on at Heads or Tails for Genesis, because we've got the anniversary promos, the foil, 3 foils for anniversary. You have the OP foils are also in those bundles, in those gameplay packages. And so, yeah, so we've been playing, and so there's this sort of this, are you going for the anniversary foil? You don't want to go at first place, but I have to get first place because that's just how my brain works, right? So I'm in this sort of weird spot where I'm like trying to do well, but then be okay if I don't do well, because then I can maybe get, thrown into this, what's it called?
The pool for the anniversary.
Pool, right? But what ends up happening the last couple of times I've come out is that I end up just being 4th place, and it's like I get absolutely nothing. And it's like, and that's not a big deal. Like, I want to point out that it's not about getting something, but it's just so funny where it's like, it's been Sid, Yan, and myself have all been sort of tied for second, quote unquote, tied for second, and someone else is taking top spot, and someone like either a new player, like the one week it was Baz when I was there, the other week it was Kenny, and I was like, I mean, this is awesome, but at the same time, it's like, why does Gio hate me and put me down in 4th place all the time? So I was like, Alex, is Gio like alphabetical? Like, does it just see Will, W? All right, that's on the bottom of the tie.
So yeah, so then he asked me tie breaks. He didn't ask me specifically about is it alphabetical.
No, that was your thoughts, right?
That was my thought. So when I first looked up his past events, I'm like, they're always in alphabetical order, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So I backtracked a couple of them, and they all did this pattern. I'm like, oh no, is it just alphabetical? So then I did my own testing. I just started running some fake tournaments, but in the fake tournaments, it proved that is not the case.
Okay.
In trying to get the same sort of thing, one round, Killatalk and Will were tied for points, and Will was on top. And then the next round, tied for points exactly again. This time, Killatalk is on top. I'm like, okay, there's no actual rivalry here. Now that being said,
Gio just hates me.
That being said, that was her 1st place technically, so I wasn't looking at the proper 2nd, 4th,
It's so funny.
So I do want to make it explicit that Geo doesn't have built-in tiebreaker functionality yet. We're still working on that. Again, like Geo as a whole, it's still in its alpha beta like development phase. We're still trying to get it to the point. Actually, I'd say it's past its alpha. It's at a point where it's functionable. We can use it for main tournaments. We're relying on it for a lot of things. But the last big key feature to say that this is ready for the circuits for major events is tiebreakers and also doing cutoffs, right? Being like top 8, let's cut them and do another tournament. So the cool thing that's going to happen is when you end a tournament, it'll give you a notification saying these players are tied. Do you want to go to a tiebreaker round? Or, you know, do you want to do a top 8 cut and separate those people into another tournament? There's some logic that's still being built out, but it is still in development. So I think there's a lot of exciting things. What's Jeff saying? Placing fourth and getting nothing. I don't know what that feels like. What's that stab at? Is that something?
Jeff and I were in another card game tournament on the weekend, and I had unfortunately my son is going through some night terrors and night pains and growing pains and stuff. So in the middle of the tournament, my wife had sort of, had her chance, had tried her best. I had to leave the tournament in the second round. I just said, I had won the first game. If I don't come back, just give me the one and I'll take the 2 losses, right? So what that meant was that put me against Jeff for the last round. And so Jeff's like sort of just waiting, hoping that I don't come back. And then I'm like, hey, Jeff, is the round still on? He's like, yes. And then I ended up beating him, that's probably what that's referring to. And so I think I ended up getting 3rd for that, and then he got 4th. So.
Oh my goodness!
But one segment we should do, because I was thinking about Jeff, and he put out a very nice terrain art today, was that we should do a fan art of the week.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
That sounds like Critical Role.
Yeah. That being said, did so a lot of the Patreon stuff have? Oh, that's really cool.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, I should talk about. Yeah, Jeff sent me a package. Well, I assume you got a package.
I did. I got some fancy.
Sorry, I said I don't. I guess you didn't get a package.
Uh-oh. Maybe your packages don't. I mean, these didn't come from Jeff at all.
I didn't get a package at all. That's fine.
Yeah. So Jeff sent me a fancy package. Maybe some other people too. I made a video, but then I went to just post it to him, and then Discord's like, yeah, that file's too big. That's as far as I went. I didn't even say thank you after that. So this is my thank you, Jeff. It was a great package.
Was it a video done by Alex, the character Alex, or is it an actual like?
It was Alex cracking packs, not in cars.
Not in cars.
Nice.
In sweatpants. At home. Nice.
Anyway, yeah. Patreon packages have all finally gone out, and
sweet.
Some places have already started receiving theirs. So if you get them, there's the decoy rabbit done by Jeff. Well, where it's Ramiana's decoy rabbit, and then he just superimposed it on top. And even the rabbit's bald. It's great. Yeah. Anyway, so that was Geo. Okay. The promos, the anniversary promos.
Yeah, it's. I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we're seeing more people out just because things are more relaxed, or more people are getting ready for the circuits, or if we're seeing more people out because of the anniversary promos. But one of the things that is, again, from my perspective of being Genesis is definitely going through some changes since the Kickstarter, right? Like there's more eyes on Genesis. There's more people seeing it. There's more people wanting to participate in it. And so it's just getting harder to, get the cards, right? It's not like you can go to one of the Genesis stores like it was before and be like, oh, can I get, a bunch of copies of these? Or can I get a full play set, or a full set even, right? back in the day. So it's interesting that the anniversary promos are sort of tied into the gameplay. And I was just more wondering, what was the thought behind that? Was that the point of the anniversary promos, or is it?
So, this was a really difficult thing to try to figure out, because before we were, I mean, Alex gives me a lot of crap, but I was very free with promos. Like, I gave a lot of promos out to a lot of people, and it was super simple. But now with trying to create a more even playing field across all the LGS, all the players, we're trying to figure out what type of behaviors we want to encourage in players. And one of the biggest ones is getting them to play at their local game stores.
Right.
And this is one of those we want to show through our actions how much we believe in the local game stores, and not just have it as like a statement that we put up on a website or something like that, right? We want to show it. And the best way of doing that is giving reasons for players to come to the local game stores, play, and enjoy their events. So organized play kits become a very big part of that. The referral program is a big part of it too. Is you can't just get those things from just talking to us. You have to talk to the local game store. They'll talk to us. And no matter what the local game store's decision is, you'll get the referral program bonus no matter what. And so at the end of the day, we want that conversation to be connecting the players with the local game stores about Genesis. And so the anniversary promos, I think, was a good way to tie that together. Now, does that make it too difficult to get them? Maybe. But I think as more organized play events start happening and more of those promos make their way into circulation, a lot of people will start having doubles and triples and stuff like that. They'll start going into the tradings, the secondary market. That's a hope, right?
I think that's just. I think we're just in that period where it's like no one has them now. Once people start getting them, and then it sort of will start. Hopefully, that trading secondary sort of transition.
This month alone, I sent out 50 organized play kits, which is quite a bit compared to other months. Yeah, so it's growing. It's just taking a little bit of time, right? Mm-hmm. So that's my thinking behind it. I don't know if Alex has anything to add there.
I'm with Will. I keep winning. I haven't got one yet.
See, and this is kind of nice because that person who's in first place now is incentivized to be like, okay, I'll trade with all the other people.
Yeah.
Something else that happened in OP Kits 1.2, which we didn't announce, we didn't even tell anyone, but Separate Part Ascension and Demon Scrolls got fixed. They have the correct text, they have the right collector numbers, all the typos that were on the original OP1 print of those. So, if you have a Demon Scrolls that says action, that's actually... There's only a few of those circulating around, and we're not
misprint now, right?
Yeah.
In the past, sorry, just to kind of drag out the topic, in the past, the anniversary was sort of like a celebration of where Genesis has come. We hit 3 years, we've hit 4 years, whatever number it was. And then there was it was sort of like a buy-in. You get your anniversary package to celebrate along with us. How that model versus going to players show up and get a chance to win an anniversary promo. Have you seen or what do you like? Have you seen anything from just comparing those two?
Mm-hmm. I think it's a little bit early right now to figure that out, but. Each year we did something different, right? Year one was everyone who showed up at Heads or Tails, that booster draft we held at Heads or Tails. They all got the Vampiricus. Year two, everyone who came to the championship got the Scorpion and the Angel, right? Year three, we sold them through the website. And then this year, so the trade-off, the thing I really disliked about year two and year three is it didn't involve the LGS in the conversation, right? all our decisions should be, we should be thinking about two things. And every move we make is how are we evolving LGSs, how are we making their lives better, and how are we bringing players back to the concept of this is a game to play. So if those are the two parts of the conversations, I think OP kits was a good place to test it this month and next month. Over the next few months, we'll see, does this create a conversation? Do we start seeing people talk about the anniversary promos and the chase after them, right? Do we start seeing people in Discord communities being like, hey, I have the anniversary tsunami, is anyone looking for it, right? How does that change the conversation moving forward? That's
right.
Yeah.
That's the hope, right? Because I mean, the other side could be that, you know, someone shows up, tries to get one, doesn't, and then they walk away being like, well, how do I have to like join every other sort of, I mean, there's lots of OP out there, like, right? There's online versions, there's and maybe there's just those different OP stores or wherever those OP events are happening needs to be a little more advertised too.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing.
Being like, we are doing OP.
One thing we forgot to tell you, Will, was we wanted you to start running a Future League event.
Oh, am I? Are you actually telling me this?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. Get a day that it's just scheduled running.
Let's do weekly sanctioned Future League tournaments for more OP packs out there, right?
We could go that way too.
100%. So decks and drafts. End of the day, it's a unique way to get some stores engaged, as well as entice them to keep running events more month over month. That, and it scales well with more stores and really feels special. So I think that's a big thing, is like, how do we get the stores excited to run organized play events for Genesis beyond people wanting Death's Companions?
Is that it? Is that what you want?
So
there's a few things in the OP kits, I assume.
So
I know there's lots.
We need to actually. That's a good point. We need to have a chat about the distribution of these OP packs, because my OP pack was Wrist Throw, Quicksand, Behemoth, and I think that's it, right? 3.
They customly crafted that pack for you, Will.
Yeah.
Are you
and then Ruben, my good friend Ruben, drops he's like, look at this OP pack, sort of cockily, and I was like, okay, whatever. I saw mine. It can't be much better. It was Rain of Arrows.
Yeah. Vampire Kiss.
Arrows, Anja Tiger, Vampire Kiss, and Cogger. No, I got it.
Death Companion. Death Companion.
Yeah.
I got that back.
It was all rare. It was an all rare pack. I was like, what? First of all, I showed up and I bought 2 Cog Restricts for my deck, opened my OP pack, and there's a Cog Restrict in it, so I felt like, well, that was an idiot. But I needed one more, so it worked out. But
yeah.
We need to get those packs.
Just mentioning that we push the LGSs harder and probably best out of all other TCGs. I think it's a thing. My perspective is I want to just lead through examples. All these other TCGs come in saying the LGSs are so important. Well, it's a lot more of what you do compared to what you say, right? And so I think the OP kits are
over time we will see them, and that's hopefully where, fingers crossed, we get some sort of TCG player or something out there where people can be like, oh, I don't want to sell this. And because I mean, the Discord works. Discord does work. I've seen a lot of games do Discord trading and selling, but it's I mean, it's not the same as just being like, okay, well, I want to go get this promo or whatever. I want to try to find this promo. It's hard to know who has them, who doesn't, and all this stuff, right? So
yeah, it'd be cool. I think as we grow, we'll see a lot more of that. I know that the our friends over in Germany are really picking up organized play in the next little while, and the community in China reached out to me, being like, "Hey, how do we get organized play kits?" So
that's awesome.
We're gonna see some changes happening around the world, which would be pretty cool. What's the idea of anniversary promos in OP packs? Okay, so Darren is unaware of this. Where do I have? So this month, it started this month, right? Where the OP kits version 1.2 started releasing. They come with 8 organized play packs that are given out to every single player, 1 organized play foil promo, which is given to the top place, 1 anniversary promo, so it's one of the 3 anniversary promos, which is given to a player at random. And then,
where do you pull those from? Just on your desk?
Yeah, they're just on my desk. This is my collection. And then a booster pack, which is given to the newest player of the community or a community builder. Those are the new organized play kits. We are looking for feedback. I would love to get feedback from the community on does this work? Is there some way to restructure it? And everything about the OP kit is a suggestion, except for the fact that the actual OP packs need to go to every single player. That's the one that we want.
For me, like the biggest question was, did it make sense to lose that second foil regular one? Because now there's less of those going out to random player as well. But you now countered that act with the anniversary. That was my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm
and then this is going out to the audience listening.
Yeah.
That's what it comes back to.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when an event goes down, there's still 2 foils going out. It's just one of them is an anniversary, right?
Yeah.
Now for Will, he's slobbering over those anniversaries. So
well,
gotta get them. Gotta catch them all.
Yeah, like and so the anniversary promos are gonna be staying in the organized play kits until November. So in that time, will you get to a point where even if you're not winning them in the event, do you think there'll be people in the community who get doubles and want to trade them?
Yeah,
and that's the part that we hope for.
Depends. If they want to use them, you can have like 10 tsunamis in your deck.
True.
So.
Yeah.
I would love to see someone bust out their Essence Drain deck. Political experience and Essence Drains. Yeah, fun times. And then you had one more topic, right, that we wanted to jump into. The
Stone Protector.
Stone Protector.
Yeah.
Do we want to get into that? Do you have the energy for it?
I have the energy for it. I just don't know what. All right, everybody. Stone Protector is broken.
That's
so. This is Epiphany Banned and Restricted 2.0. We've got the Epiphany Band-Aid on. This is let me actually look right into the camera. Look at the camera. Looking at you, Jeff. Right. We got the Band-Aid for Epiphany on. Right. We've got less Epiphanies in decks. It's okay. We'll finish off the rest later. But now we need to focus on Stone Protector. Community, everyone out there. Stone Protector needs a lot of attention, so we get a lot of eyes on it, so we can get a lot of wins from it, so we can get some movement on the banned and restricted list. There we go.
all right.
Would you like to explain yourself more about why?
All right, so here's how.
Whoa! Important comment just came out. Eric is confused
no.
about what you're talking about. Did you mean chair?
No.
Is this the chair? Chair?
I will not, and I will never use that phrase. Old guard here. It is a Stone Protector. I don't know what that. I'm not even chair. Chair. All right. Here's how. This is what happened. I played the Kun sort of burst deck, bolt shot tsunamis. Bolt shot tsunamis. Substrikes, the one that's supposed to be the angel deck killer. It did not matter. The first game.
You played it wrong, Will. Is that what you're saying?
I played it correctly. It did not matter because he had 3 Stone Protectors and an angel. And then the next round, after I finally cleaned out the Stone Protectors and the angels, he brought out 3 more angels. Nubia. How does that work? Okay, so I took care of the stack the first time, and then he still came down with 3 more angels in his hand.
So you're saying Stone Protectors aren't important? You killed them.
Yeah, I'm hearing that angels
I had
are the
to
problem.
use all my resource to kill a 5-chi do-nothing card because
you didn't kill it as 1 5-chi. You said you killed 3 Stone Protectors and an angel. That's 4 cards.
Well, that's because he stacked them all.
It clearly does something.
You're asking me.
Angels sit on them like they're a chair.
No, the angels stand beside it and it teleports. It's not a chair. So the second round, I'm like, okay, well, I've done my due diligence. I made my forethoughts. I thought about this deck. I'm going to bring in a whole bunch of cog restricts. I'm going to bring in a whole bunch of Chrono Walkers so that I can dodge and make sure that I'm in position, right? So I go second, as you should against the Angel deck, because you want to get in there, whatever, and make sure they're exerted. Didn't drop them. I was like, okay, didn't drop anything the first round. This is good. We are good to go. Now, I get in position with Kun. He goes Stone Protector. Okay, first one you can have. Stone Protector. Okay, second one you can have. Stone Protector. Okay, I have the bolt. I have 2 bolt shots in my hand. I can take care of both of these. That's fine. Angel. Cog Restrict. Okay. Angel. Cog Restrict. Angel. I'm like, what is this? I just wasted half of my aura for nothing. And then he had 3 Stone Protectors and an Angel there, and he just bounced it all around. Done. Can't take it anymore.
Well, why didn't you? You said you had 2 bolt shots. Why didn't you just kill them?
Well, yeah, I would have, but he put them behind him. I had to wait.
Oh, you would have. Why weren't you in a better position, Will?
Yeah.
I was in Cog Restrict position. Shut up, Alex.
I feel like this is more on you than...
I did everything I could against that Angels and Stone Protectors deck. Anyways.
So,
but my real fear is for Future League, because I don't think people have done, at least from what I've seen. I know I haven't done some Future League stuff for the last couple of weeks because it's just been crazy over here in our house. But I want to know if anyone has done. There is a Future League champion. Am I allowed to say the Future League champion? I guess the code name's fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
you don't know anything else, so. Oh, let me just tell you.
Spoilers, people. Spoilers.
All right. So there is a champion on Future League, designed in part by my friend Sid Williams, who won the championship. So this is his champion card. It's called
Winner
Brain.
of the championship gets to design a card. That's what he's trying to get at. A champion. You could design the next champion. You just gotta win the upcoming championship.
It's funny that you were like pointing off screen as though there's someone standing there.
That guy there.
It's Gabriel.
It's all my trainees.
Sid at your house?
All my trainees, they have to just kneel and wait.
Oh
like,
my
do all
gosh, Alex.
things.
Anyways, it's Brain. Check it out. Try Brain. So right now, in my head, I'm building this after this live stream. If anyone's available for play, I'll be there. Brain, Stone Protector, AoE, and Cog Restrict. And you just sort of control the board with massive amounts of damage and shutting down any sort of ability from anywhere in the board. That's my next build. He's pointing at chat.
Yeah, because from my screen where Alex was pointing towards, I was pointing at the chat box. So it was pretty well placed.
Anyways,
I
don't know.
All right, going back to meta. Actually, I want to toss it to Alex. Alex, what are your responses to Stone Protector? Because I assume you've been
talked
playing.
about this before. It's Stone Protector, Teleport. They're on my list to worry about. I think they're really strong. 100%. There is so much going for a Stone Protector. There's just so much going for a Stone Protector.
So much. 5 chi. It can target itself, which is weird. And it can move and swift speed and placement at swift speed.
I always contemplate about it can target itself, but if it couldn't target itself, it just sits there most of the time.
Amen. There. That's what a chair does. It just sits there.
So, are you trying to prove that it isn't a chair, or that it's fine? Now I'm confused.
I shouldn't have to prove that it's not a chair. I shouldn't have to prove that. That's some other weird thing going on that I don't even know about.
So let's just be clear. The TARDIS is able to move when the Doctor's not inside of it. It's done it on many episodes. All right. So just to make sure that we have established this.
So we have chair, Stone Protector, and TARDIS. The 3 things all mean the same.
But let's go back to Will's. I think Will's issue here that it comes through the bigger enemy. Will, you weren't looking at the big picture. We all know the big enemy is Nubia. You were facing Nubia.
Okay, I will give you that. Yes, Nubia is still worse.
You got out-resourced by Nubia. That's what you said. You actually cheated.
So
double draw is ridiculous.
see, he's given up. He's saying I never draws the issue.
No. Stone Protector is still the issue because Brain exists, or potentially could exist.
Yeah. So Joe made a comment I would agree with. it's that Stone Protector is so different from all the rest of the cards. It's so unique, and only specific answers can deal with it. I think that's the biggest issue about Stone Protector, is that it actually, and a lot of people don't know this, a bonus tactic of your Stone Protector is to stop evasion and stop placement. If an opponent tries to jump,
doesn't stop placement, stop movement.
Movement. Yeah. But I mean, like, it's a targeted where you're
if
going.
someone leaps, you Stone Protector into that spot, and they're like, oh. Like, well, I guess I won't leap then. Thanks.
You know, somebody goes to Oten and you attack from the side, your Stone Protector goes to the opposite side.
No, normally what happens to me when I Oten from the first angel attack, the other angel comes to the other side and then attacks.
Same thing, same issue. But yeah, so I think it's very strong at the end of the day.
Real chat though. I know. So Sid Williams won with Kun, never faced Angel deck.
That is true.
Okay, so that he never came across an Angel Stone Protector deck. Since we have been testing against that deck, it has lost most of the time.
Really?
There are times where it will win. So if Kun dash double moves, does nothing, they go and they get 1 to 2 Stone Protectors, and Kun's holding on to like 1 to 2 bolt shots. He can come to the side, start bolt shotting, get Nubia down to enough damage to potentially close out the game really quick. However, if there's more than 2 Storm Protectors, or if they spread out those Storm Protectors so Kun can't really dash and capture all of them, it's almost like you have to Tsunami, and Tsunami's too slow because they bamf out of the way.
Yeah. Well, the answer is never just Tsunami. You should be Tsunami with the bolt shot.
It has the bolt shot. You need the bolt shots or that reach. And
essentially you don't bother if you don't have the Swift support.
Right.
Which is why we were talking about why certain cards just don't affect Stone Protectors.
Right.
Almost all action speed stuff just doesn't affect Stone Protectors.
Except for Meteorite.
Except for Meteorite,
I'm
yes.
terrifying with.
So there you go, everybody. Just run only Meteorites, 25 Meteorites, 25 Otens.
I did feel like
there's new control deck.
I did feel justified when I was like, okay, Kun deck, I put you to the side. Here's my beloved Idris deck. Let's go one more round. And let's just see. And I was like, he's like, okay, sure. And he was very confident, which he should be. It's a very strong deck. He did the same thing he always did. And then, but in my hand, I was looking at the Leap, the Baruch, and the 2 Meteorites. So I did the 2 Meteorites on my turn after I went second. He dropped all his stuff, double Meteorited, killed everything, leapt in, played the Baruch. Baruch came in, hit him from the side, and he's like, oh, okay, I see now. So I did feel justified that way.
So are you saying it comes back to the rock, paper, scissors? You're saying Kadu's a fighter lost to a summon deck.
Alex, whose side are you on?
I don't know. I just
are you on my side? Are you like? I feel like I'm trying to push for something here, and you're pushing back.
I'm gonna put Alex beside you on screen.
This conversation is just starting. It took us 2 years to do Epiphany. I'm ready for another 2 years.
The audience has given us solution, Will.
What?
We're gonna change Nubia to drawing 1.5 cards.
To stop that rip in half.
A Stone Protector is still bad enough.
And we're also gonna restrict Nubia to only 4 copies in a deck.
Yeah.
Nubia to
four Nubias per tournament. That's how we restrict it. Sorry, there are too many Nubias in this tournament. You gotta leave.
Stone Protector has an awareness, right?
No.
Is that
reminder? If you want to kill a Stone Protector, 3 malicious persuasions will do the job.
So then you and I need to figure out how that interaction with Brain works then if it doesn't have an awareness.
The cards you play have awarenesses.
Yeah.
What's the orientation of Stone Protector then?
Oh yeah. That's the thing about when you do it. It can never rotate. It cannot rotate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it never rotates.
It stays in the direction it's facing.
So the opponent just needs to run to the opposite side of the.
We'll work on it.
Anyway,
this is day one. So Stone Protector chat.
There's 2 things that came up. Actually, one of them in chat, which Steven brought up, which were you just outplayed? And I mean, not in a way to directly attack your playstyle, but just in the regards of like,
No,
is
for
it
sure.
just someone who's really good at playing Stone Protectors and understands how to play them? Was it just they had a large amount of them? Like,
It was definitely the draw. They had, well, if you think of it, right? Both games, 2 rounds, they had 3 Angels and 3 Stone Protectors in both games, right? So their saturation point is high and their draw is really good. It's still the one downside that always will feel bad is even with Kun, it still takes you 2 turns to get up close.
Yeah.
Right. So 2 turns, that's 4 extra cards. So the newbie is looking at 11 cards. From like, well, your first is 7, right? So 5 cards is the draw.
Yeah.
2 is 7. 2 more is 9. So sorry, 9 cards, not 11. So that 9 cards, that is, the devil in the details is that it is the 9 cards. And Stone Protector is a 5G, which you can run a lot of them as you want.
Yeah.
And then the Angel is just a very, very powerful card.
Yeah.
So putting them together, it is interesting that this was not found in the 2019 championship. And then we was prepared for it. It was going to be a big thing in the 2020 championship that got canceled because we couldn't do it. And then the 2021 seemed to be a whole bunch of new people, a bunch of shift, and there wasn't that many Angel Stone Protector decks out there, either because people just weren't aware of it, people didn't know, were confident playing it. But it is what I would call the big bad of the meta, because it can win out of nowhere. And it can win handsomely, and you don't even know that it's won, right? Because you, as your opponent, be like, okay, well, I can take care of this, not realizing that they just have the perfect setup after you take care of what they've already set up, right, in their hand.
So Steve-O actually, in his second last match in 2019, was facing an Angel Stone Protector deck.
Yeah.
I thought there wasn't one.
Yes.
Not Stone Protector.
Yeah,
I don't think
Stone Protector is Vincent's Stone Protector.
Oh, really?
Yep. Vincent was running an Angel Stone Protector deck.
Because I was always told that it hadn't shown up till after that.
It wasn't a lot of Stone Protectors. It was a heavier on the River Knights, but in the final match, the final game, Stone Protector was on the board. So I don't know how many he was running. I'm sure I can find that deck list. But yeah,
Will Benyen says you're wrong. Stone Protector is perfectly fine. It doesn't do any damage.
Sounds like a Stone Protector player.
Angel is the problem. How do you respond to this?
I mean, well, Angel.
Oh, Ben, don't sell yourself short. Will's a pretty bad player.
Angel is what? Ben called me a bad player. That's fine.
No, I'll
accept it. I've never won anything. It's okay. My dog is whining. So the Angel problem, you can take care of Angels when they're not moving at swift speed, right? But when you're trying to take care of something and you're using a lot of resources, let's say like 18 aura, right? Or if you're trying to use 4 energy or a substrike at 16 aura, and then your hope is to hit, but you have to now, because you see the Stone Protector there, it's not just the first card. You know the first card's not going to hit. You have to play the 2 cards, and you have to have the correct 2 cards to play, right?
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where she's just being annoying. It's just, yeah. So I mean, this Angel by itself is one version of how to, like, use one way you tackle that, and then there's the Angel with the Stone Protector, whereas you need to have a specific sequence of cards, something to trigger the Stone Protector to leave, because a good player won't. If you just do a Wind Slash on an Angel, they probably won't actually respond to that first one, right? Because they're going to wait for the big damage, and then so you have to have 2 of the big damage to actually get through, right? So if you have 2 bolt shots and a Wind Slash, your first bolt shot misses because the Stone Protector is going to teleport away. Your second bolt shot's not enough to kill the Angel, but you hope that they have that one will at least take care of the Stone Protector, right? And then if you have the Wind Slash, you can finish off the Angel at the end. But
yeah, it
is tricky because we've never seen it, right? No one's actually brought it all the way to win, because in the end it is still on the combo side of deck building.
Yeah.
Because you have to have the pieces. It's just that Nubia can get those pieces very easily.
Yeah.
But it's not a combo in that sense where like you can outplay it. You can just outright in the match you said you lost to Nubia. You still never explained to me how you died. If you were just doing all that damage to Nubia and Nubia just died, the one angel to kill a con takes 5 turns.
So I had to, because of the 3 Stone Protectors, I had to I had to blow my hand out to actually kill the stack. So I took care of the first stack. Then the Nubia player the next round dropped 2 more angels, and I had no
let's go
responses.
through the damage. How much damage did you waste, and would that have just killed the Nubia? Is the short answer.
The short answer is that first game, I should have just focused on the Nubia. I realized that afterwards. Because I could have just taken care of the Nubia. However, the only reason I didn't was because of the triple stack of Stone Protectors, right? So if I had gone in and gone just face on the Nubia, right? If I had played the Substrike, they could have Stone Protector, brought another Stone Protector onto Nubia to then respond before that Substrike hits, right? Mm-hmm. So in that time period of calculating, I had to figure out, did I actually have enough? Yeah. I had 20 damage in my hand. I don't think when I went the route, 20 damage was enough to actually kill Nubia because of the 3 Stone Protectors that were there. Right?
All right.
But however,
I'd say all right.
However, in that same vein, what I did realize was it may have not been enough to kill the Nubia right then, but it probably was enough to put enough pressure on that I could have pursued the next 2 turns.
Yeah.
Turns out they had a Chrono Walker in their hands, right? So it's probably
enough
3 turns, right? So
yeah.
Like
it's a good hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so from my perspective, it was I had the answers, and it still didn't matter. Both games, I had 2 Cog Restricts, 2 Bolt Shots the second game. I had 2 Substrikes, 2 Bolt Shots the first game, and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, and then it's like kind of what you're saying. Something that I talk to people a lot in the early days of Genesis is like, did they end up playing a little bit on your emotions? Like the fact that they brought out the Stone Protectors, the Angel there, that fear of the stack, the thing that you're talking about, you spending so much resources on, if you had just shifted your attention away from that towards them, would they have made a mistake which could have given you the game? Like,
right.
Sometimes there is that psychological game warfare that's happening.
Yeah, that was definitely the replay in my head was like, you know what, that first game should have just gone for Nubia.
Yeah.
Yes, the stack was there. It was off in the corner. There was only the 1 angel. If I hadn't killed Nubia, 2 more angels would have come down, so it would have been a 3 stack of 3 and 3, which means I could have been dead the following turn, because hit a 6 would have brought me down to 20. They would have had to do 2 more damage to me in 2 turns.
So here's where I'm currently at, I think, with Stone Protector. I think at the top tier of play, I think it is rough, but I think it's, at this point, that deck's been around for so long that people should be expected and know how to play around it, try to beat it, whether it is just focused on the Nubia or when to go for that. Where I think the actual issue with Stone Protector is when new players have to face the Stone Protector and they try to face it. Like, the amount of times I've seen people try to attack a Stone Protector and I just go, relocate. It's like, oh, I just wasted a card.
Yeah.
And then they follow up their next turn and do the same thing. It's like, that's where I think it's a further balance. That I think for new players, it is one of the most complex cards in the game.
Oh, for sure.
And that's where it's not fun. So I try to avoid new players from getting it. Not the Shahad strategy, who gives them all Stone Protectors. You give the new player this one, Stone Protectors, give that one. Now, that being said, and there was a comment, Stone Protector is extremely fun to play with. Yeah. And that is a third, I guess, category to put up there. It is very fun because it's so open and it does all these weird things. Yeah.
One thing... I'm sorry. Well,
go ahead. Okay.
One thing I want to say is, and Alex touched on this earlier, that a lot of the community assumes, but let's make it explicit, is that we do have like in our mind a list of cards that we are monitoring all the time and waiting for that feedback to come in and be like, okay, where are we making decisions and what are we doing here? Like Alex talked about, Teleport and Stone Protector. Those have been in my mind for years, since Welcome to JLR. Even in Future League testing, Stone Protector was still in the back of my mind. Epiphany's been there for a very long time. Like, it's the conversation around the cards isn't always new, but the data points are always new. Those are the things we're analyzing and trying to figure out what decisions to be made. And as a lot of the community knows, we don't take banning and restriction very lightly.
This is day one.
Except for Hydroblast.
Except for Hydroblast.
That's the threat to the game. That card.
When we get to day
in alpha, it was. All right, in alpha, it was. It ruined Thymos.
Oh, but what I've really came out of this is what I've heard is Will wants to ruin Sid's champion card, so he has to go back to the drawing board and make a new one. That's what I've got out of it. No, that's the champion Sid.
I actually think his card's really cool. I'm just afraid of how potentially broken it could be or become. But we'll find out. I will not say pass any more judgment until I actually try it out. But
all right, it is 8:00. We did have another topic, but I guess we can leave that for next week. And I think we're good for tonight, right? Everyone's walking away happy?
Oh, look who just showed up.
Sid shows up now.
Speak of the devil and he shall appear.
Knowing Sid, he's probably been here this entire time.
Oh, I know. He just sits there and listens. He's such a calming soul. It's
That's a lot of our community. They just like to chillax, listen.
All right. I'm gonna throw up the closing screen. So thanks guys for joining. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week for episode 71.
Day 2, Stone Protector.